Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the inaugural night of the OeM Series presented by National Racing Network here on iRacing. Tonight, we are at the Daytona International Speedway for their season shootout. Short little 30-lap race tonight for these guys. Running the Gen 4, the old school NASCAR Cup cars featured from the late 90s all the way up to the year 2007. So one of my favorite eras of NASCAR. Really hoping to see these things put on a fantastic show, just like they always did back in the day. Kind of cool to be broadcasting the vintage stuff out here. See if we can get you a starting grid. In the number 58 car will be Ryan Rose on the inside of row number 1. To his outside will be the 64 car of Michael Gudger. Row number 2 will have Johnny Rapp in 52 on the inside and Ryan Murray to his outside in the number 13. Robert Brobst in the number 5 car on the inside of row number 3 and Austin Holbrook in the 12 car to his outside. Next up in row number 4 will be Sam Stoner. In the number 65 to his outside will be the number 6 car of Dade Grajewski. Row number 5 will have the number 43 car of Andrew Cowell and the 69 car of Martin Gonzalez. Row number 6 will have Nathan Gentry in the number 4 car and Jacob Bradley in the number 50. That will round out your 12-car field tonight for our shootout. So short grid tonight for the shootout. Only 30 laps the distance tonight. I believe there is one fast repair for these guys, so you get kind of a mulligan of a freebie. If you do end up caught up in the big one in a huge wreck, you can kind of get back on there onto the lead lap and with a brand new backup car. So as the pace car works its way down the backstretch, you'll notice there's the big grandstands back there on the backstretch. That is no longer there. That was torn down when the track was repaved in 2013 as part of Daytona Rising. They redid the grandstands on the front stretch, made them nice and huge, put new seats in, and got rid of this grandstand here on the backstretch. So running the old bumpy version of Daytona here tonight. So only one pace lap for these guys. I'm loving that number 58 car, Ryan Rose, the old Papyrus car, as we have a little bit of contact going on further back in the field. Looks like these guys get themselves sorted out pretty quickly. Pace car is in, coming through the tri-oval for the first time in the OeM Series on NRN. Ryan Rose off to a great start in that Papyrus number 58 machine. Kind of the default paint scheme of all the early Papyrus games. Pretty cool to see that one come back. Right behind him will be the number 64 of Michael Gudger. Field seems single file out very quickly, and caution flag is out. Seeing Martin Gonzalez off track. Yep, looks like they went green, and right as soon as they did, got turned around. We'll see if we can get that one for you one more time. Yep, a little bit of help from the 43 car of Andrew Cowell. Goes around into the front stretch grass and unfortunately brings out the first caution of the night. Not even a lap into this one. So he is going to be in the 11th position. So working lap number 2 out of 30. Not sure if we have overtime in this series, as we watched leader Michael Gudger try and find the pace car wherever it's at and see if we can give him some help. Pace car is somewhere on track. There we go. Out of turn number 4, there is the iRacing safety car. Right behind him will be race leader number 58, Ryan Rose, in that Papyrus machine. Let's see if we can get an eye on who the sponsor of that number 64 is. Seems like a very neat paint scheme on that vehicle. Looks like it's got the LSU colors on that thing. I am not huge into college football, so couldn't tell you if they're good or not, but clearly Michael Gudger is a fan. Right behind him is Robert Bops in that number 5 car. That is the old Kellogg scheme. I believe that's 2003 or 2004 when Hendrick ran those gray cars. I'm not sure if that's a Mark Martin scheme or a Terry Labonte scheme, but still very cool to see out here. I'm loving all of the vintage schemes these guys drive. That number 43 car, Raising Cane's Chicken. Love Raising Cane's Chicken. We're actually getting one here on the east side of PA, so really excited for that. Won't have to go to Ohio to get my fixin'. Dade Grajewski in the number 6 car running an old Mark Martin scheme. I believe this is either the 06 or 07 scheme for this car. Believe they made this one a computer mouse. They were giving them out to doctors at the time. Neat little story behind that car, and always fun to see it out on track. Nathan Gentry right behind them in the number 4 machine. That car usually has the number 31 colors on it in the real world. I believe driven by Jeff Burton through the mid-2000s. Singular Wireless before they merged with AT&T. So another cool scheme to see out here. But as we look back towards the front of the field is still single file working lap number 3. Lights are still on the pace car, so not going to be going green anytime soon. See if we get lights out on the pace car this time. I'm not sure about the restart rules for this series either. If they will use the early 2000s rules of single file lap cars on the inside, or nope, looks like we are going double file for the restart. So I believe they introduced double file restarts in the year 2004 for the NASCAR Cup Series. So down the back stretch, for the final time under caution, hopefully for the night. Caution's not unheard of here at Daytona, but these guys tend to go pretty clean for a while. But this being a non-point shootout race, you're just out here for bragging rights. So I can see someone making the huge lunge from the back of the field trying to get to the front as quickly as possible. Only 30 laps to be able to get done tonight. I keep wanting to call Ryan Rose the player, because that is what your name would come up as on the old Papyrus NASCAR racing games if you did not set your name in there. So pace car coming out of turn number 4. It's going to dive down to the inside, down into pit lane this time, and we're going to see the field head away one more time. So Ryan Rose once again up to a great start. Michael Gudger falling away a little bit, and Robert Brobst able to get underneath them. They're going to be too wide going into turn number 1. Which lane does Ryan Rose choose to follow? Does he block up high? Looks like he wanted to go up high, but ends up going down low. He's going to give the toe to the number 5 machine of Robert Brobst. Mike Gudger, quick in tow. He's going to look high, look low. He's going to give the shunt to the number 5 car. Push the number 5 car to the lead, see if he can follow him through. Looks like he does. That's going to move Ryan Rose out to the 3rd position. Oh, as the field is wrecking, Nathan Gentry goes up and over, around, into the number 69 car of Martin Gonzalez. We are under caution for a 2nd time tonight. That Singular Wireless machine, bit damaged, just like Singular Wireless themselves. He's going to need a merger with, maybe get a backup car out there. As he spins it again. We're going to take the camera off from him. We're making him a little bit nervous out there. At number 69 machine has seen better days, though. That is going to be Martin Gonzalez. Involved in the first caution, getting a bad bump off the green flag, spinning around, and unfortunately taken in this one as well. It appears that he has already used his fast repair as well. He did come in the pit lane before, so hopefully he didn't, and he still has a backup car. If not, that is going to be how he's going to have to finish the race tonight. And frankly, that thing does not look like it's going to cut through the air very well. So the number 5 car of Robert Brobst is trying to be the pace car. Enjoying a look at the pace car. Let's see if we can get inside the gyro cam. And as you can see, enjoying a look at what the pace car driver is seeing, trying to check out the interior of that car. Maybe doing a little bit of car shopping. Might have to go to the iRacing dealership afterwards and pick up a new pace car as a daily driver. Move back on board with Michael Gudger. These pace laps are very, very difficult here at Daytona because they are so long. It's very easy to let your mind kind of wander, get out of the zone, and all of a sudden, it's time to drop the green flag again, and you are just sitting there like a sleeping duck. Field now coming down the backstretch once again. The fans are having a great look at these vintage race cars, though. These things have not seen the track in a competitive setting in a long while. Since 2007, I think, was the last time we saw this style of car raced in the Cup Series, and it was 2011 or 2012 that we last saw them in the Xfinity Series. Some of them did get used up until recently in ARCA, though. This version of the Gen 4 car we have on iRacing is powered by a Cup Series 7,800 horsepower engine, but uses the shorter 105-inch wheelbase of the, at the time, NASCAR Busch Series and Nationwide Series cars. So they can handle a little bit funky compared to what a Gen 4 car actually would have handled like, because it's on the shorter wheelbase, not made for as much power. But that handful makes them a blast to drive around just about any track you throw them on here on the iRacing service. So it looks like lights are going out on the pace car this time, and we're going to double file once again. So one more pace lap for these guys, and then we go green. So 2x2, they go down through turn number 3. It's going to be Robert Brops in that Kellogg's number 5 machine on the bottom, and Michael Gudger in the LSU number 64 to the high side. Player 1, Michael Rose in that number 58 Papyrus machine, and Andrew Cowell to his outside in the Canes machine. That's going to be your first 2 rows. Pace car getting ready to come in this time. Let's see what they can do. Excuse me, they're working their way down the backstretch, so still 2 more corners they have to go at this slow speed. So behind them is going to be Sam Stoner in the 65 car and Johnny Rapp in that number 52 Mission Barbecue machine. Jacob Bradley in that Lowe's number 50. That is not a throwback scheme that I recognize. Maybe I just missed that race, but looks like he's going for a Jimmy Johnson scheme. I believe only him and Kyle Busch ran the Lowe's schemes. Kyle Busch running it in the Xfinity Series, or what is now the Xfinity Series. But I now see the Jimmy Johnson Foundation and Jimmy's signature on top of that door. So clearly a Jimmy throwback on that machine. But pace car getting ready to come in this time, so all eyes on that number 5 Kellogg's machine. See what he can do if he can stay out front. As the field works its way in the turn number 1, 2x2, 5 rows back this time. It's going to be that number 5 car of Robert Probst out there in front. Ryan Rose in the Papyrus number 58 machine. He's going to be on the bottom, right on the rear bumper of that number 5. They're going to give it a shove down the back straightaway. Seems like they're still going to have the advantage. But that 64 car of Michael Gudger is able to peek a nose out in front. Not just quite. They're going to be working still 2x2 on the top side. Mike Gudger is going to be your new race leader, able to move down to the bottom side, block off the run from Robert Probst. Fastest lap of the race going to Nathan Gentry, all the way back in that 10th position. Having the huge draft from everyone here is able to get a run going. He's in that number 4 Singular Wireless car way back there. He's got the backup car out now. He was the reason for the previous caution. Working lap number 10 out of 30 of the shootout. So already a third of the way done with this race. That number 5 car of Robert Bross to the bottom side. Still giving a huge push to that number 64. The number 58 car and the number 52 of Johnny Rapp. Shootout to the high side, going to try and get another run built up. Ryan Rose now almost side by side with the leaders. Ryan Murray, new quick time. Robert Propst's car looks like a handful, bobbling all up and down that bottom line. I don't know if he's looking to get a run on up through the middle there, or if he's just trying to get some air on the nose if that vehicle is overheating. We'll give you a look at what he is seeing inside that car. Go back to the interior view of that number 5 machine. You can't see anything in front of you as the number 58 car of Ryan Rose takes the lead. 64 car is going to jump out to the high side. And yeah, this number 5 machine of Robert Probst basically just going to suck right up behind the number 58 machine. Just going to give him a shove. And frankly, that's all you can see out of the car. You can't see in front. So if a lap traffic or anything's coming up, you kind of have to hope they lead you the right path, and hopefully your spotter is good enough to tell you where that lap car is going to be. Field keeping it clean and green now. They are still 2x2, 5 rows back. As these cars, you can see just how much they're bobbing around and wiggling, and they're not really all that easy to drive. As the number 5 car gives a huge kind of wicked off-center shunt to the number 58 Ryan Rose. Saw how sideways he got. That's going to allow that top line to pick up a ton of momentum with the bottom line having to check up like that. Michael Gudger is going to be your race leader right now, but only by a couple tenths of a second. So they're 3 wide now down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3, still 3 wide. Not a lot of room here at Daytona to make it work. Beating and banging that number 52 machine of Johnny Rapp. Going to be looking to the inside, but he's able to keep it clean. Somehow these guys didn't wreck these cars. So Ryan Rose looking all over that rear bumper of the number 5 machine, seeing if he can push him out to enough of a gap where he can shoot up high and try and get the lead for himself. 2 wide, 2 rows back, the number 43 Canes machine of Andrew Cowell now up to the top side right behind Mike Gudger up there. Going to be halfway through the race this time by. As these 6 cars going crazy. Oh, man, the number 58 car gets spun around by the 6, almost blows over. Caution is not out just yet. He does save the car, going to lock it down, bring the caution out. Oh, man. Caution flag does not come out, though, so that's going to have the 58 machine lose even more time. Yeah, you can see that thing almost get up and over. See if we can get you another look at that one. There we go. We'll go up to quarter speed here. And see, he just bobbles a little bit on that bottom line, has to check up. And that number 6 machine is going to get right into him. So just touches the quarter panel there and unfortunately spins him around. As he comes back around, almost flips the car, is able to keep it without damage, but unfortunately, that's going to put him all the way back to the 11th position, 31 seconds back of Nathan Gentry, so he's going to need a caution here. As we look back at our leaders, still fighting side by side, it's going to be the 64 car of Mike Gudger, Andrew Cowell up there. Oh, it's your front row so far. It's going to be the 5 car of Robert Brobst and the number 50 Lowe's machine of Jacob Bradley now up towards the front. That number 6 car we just saw of Dave Grajewski and Sam Stoner back there. Sam Stoner running that number 65 blue and brown machine. Looks like Upland is the sponsor of that one, as they're 3 wide for 2 rows, somehow still keeping it clean and green. Not sure how they made that one work without tearing up a whole bunch of race cars. So working lap number 18 now, out of 30. Short shootout here tonight as they come down the backstretch. Still a small pack of race cars out here. These 6 really have shown themselves to be kind of the top 6 in the field so far. Ryan Rose was up there, unfortunately getting spun around, so not able to continue competing for the lead unless we get another caution. So these guys early on in the OEM's broadcasts on NRN, these guys showing that they are the top ones, especially here on the super speedways. We'll have to wait to see when we get to the 1.5 miles how these guys are going to do on those circuits. Ooh, bit of a bad bump from the number 5 car. That's going to spin the 64 machine around. Both of those cars get spun around to the infield. Number 5 car is able to save it, but the 64 car of Mike Gudger is spun around and stopped on the backstretch. This is exactly what Ryan Rose wanted to see. get you another look at that one. Just a bit of a bad bump for the number 64 machine. Collects the number 5 with them. Both cars go spinning down the backstretch. Not what you want to see here, but both cars look relatively unscathed. They're still going to be able to compete in tonight's race, and both of those guys do have a backup car if they happen to need it. So that is going to make Jacob Bradley in the number 50 car your race leader. Let's see if we can get a close-up of that number 40 machine. Number 50 machine of him. Not sure where that scheme was run, but it definitely is an old Jimmy Johnson throwback. Obviously, it's got the Jimmy Johnson logo or signature up over the driver's side door. It's got the Jimmy Johnson Foundation on the rear deck lid. So definitely isn't one of the times that Kyle Busch ran the Lowe's scheme in the Xfinity Series. So only going to be 10 laps to go this time. It looks like the number 12 machine is going to be diving into the pits, as will the number 52 car, excuse me. So both of those guys coming down into the pit lane. Wonder if they're just coming to get some tires. I don't think either of them have any damage, and you shouldn't need to get fuel in this one, so. I don't see that car going up on Jack, so looks like everyone is coming down and getting some fuel here. Possibly have fuel limited here tonight, so that would be why we're stopping for fuel. Usually these Cup cars can go 38 to 42 laps here at Daytona. So interesting to see people pitting fuel and not tires here, especially with how squirrely these machines have been. So it's going to be Jacob Bradley, Andrew Cowell, and Dade Grajewski up there on your top 3 so far. Still a lot of racing left to go. A lot of time for drivers to have issues. Only 10 laps to go here at Daytona, but you can make your way from last to first and first to last in half a lap here. So don't be surprised if we see some of our guys, especially a guy like Nathan Gentry, who needed that caution, as well as Ryan Rose needed that caution as well. Definitely could see either of those two guys make their way back up to the front of this field. So lights are going out on the iRacing safety car this time. Field is doubled up, and one more lap under caution before we're ready to let these beasts go out once again. Good mix of cars out here on track. I've seen a couple Monte Carlos, couple Impalas, a Ford Fusion or two. I believe they used the Fusion at that time. It was either the Fusion or the Taurus. It might have been the Taurus when they were running the Gen 7 car. Or the, Gen 4 cars. I think I've seen one Pontiac Grand Prix out here as well. I believe that number 52 machine does have the Grand Prix taillights on it. We'll hop on the interior cam of the number 64 car and see. Nope, that is actually a Dodge in that one. Chevy SS with the number 13 car of Ryan Murray. See, wonder where I saw a Pontiac in this field. And that is going to be the number 12 car of Austin Holbrook running in a Pontiac. So good diverse field of cars here tonight. So as the field now making their way out of turn number 4, pace car going to come in this time. It's going to be 9 laps to go when they come on the green. Pace car is in, green flag is out, and Jacob Bradley gets off to a fantastic start. Dade Grajewski also off to a fantastic start. He's going to take over the second spot from Andrew Cowell. They work their way single file in the turn number 1. That's going to leave that number 43 machine out to dry. Robert Probst and looks like the number 13 car of Ryan Murray. A little bit of contact back there. Both those cars getting up into the outside wall, and looks like they both just had some contact again. See what happened afterwards. Oh man, the number 5 machine just absolutely pile drives that number 13 car. A little bit of retaliation there. Yeah, clear as day going and spinning that number 13 machine. So not sure the league ruling on that one. We'll have to see if a penalty comes after the race. But these guys are racing really hard towards the front of the field here. 3 wide now through the middle goes Ryan Rose. Going to take over that 3rd position. Number 52 machine getting pushed up into the outside wall. And the number 4 car gets spun around. Same thing with the 43 below the yellow line. Somehow saves that machine. He's going to keep going, and he is still part of this pack. Oh, the number 6 car gets turned into the number 50. They're all around, up and over go, a bunch of them. Caution flag is out. See if we can see how that one happened. Just looks like the number 6 machine gets into the number 58, who's up there in the middle, 3 wide. He gets a little bit squirrely in that 58, gets into the side of the 6, up into the number 50. Jacob Bradley had absolutely nowhere to go. The 65 car of Stam Stoner gets involved. Does the number 12 as well? Yes, they do. The 65 is up and over. That Viagra machine and the Lowe's car trying to make some Xfinity cars there down through the tri-oval. That was absolutely wild. Thankfully, most of these drivers do have backup cars still. You see the number 58 car out there towards the exit of pit lane. So, ton of cars with a lot of damage. So, we have the number 64 car of Mike Gudger. Doesn't look like he has any damage on that one. Jacob Bradley definitely has damage after basically driving under that number 6 Viagra machine of Dade Grajewski. Number 43 car, that Keynes machine, looks to be relatively unscathed. Same thing with that number 52. Let's see what's going on with the number 13 car as he works his way around the field. Bit of damage on the backside of that one from getting spun by the number 5. If he is going to come into the pits, I would assume he is going to be using his backup car. Currently 5 laps to go. Lights still on the pace car, so it looks like we're going to have a 3 or 4 lap shootout. Only 3 cars out there on the racetrack. Everyone else in pit lane grabbing backup cars, so Austin Holbrook was in the pits, Ryan Rose is in the pits, Sam Stoner, Jake Bradley, Dade Grajewski, Ryan Murray, Nathan Gentry, Robert Probst, and the 69 car of Martin Gonzalez is out of this race. So basically the entire field involved in that caution. So lights still on the safety car as they come around the backstretch. See if they go double file this time as they're coming into turn number 3. So looks like they are getting ready to go double file. See if we get the lights out on the pace car this time. Looks to be only 7 cars remaining on track. So 7 cars for a 2-lap shootout. See what goes on here. Wonder if we're going to get another caution with this one. Definitely anticipation high. And a lot can happen. Even if you're Ryan Rose sitting there on basically the back of what is left of the grid, that's only 3 rows you got to get up through before you're back on the front row. So a lot can happen here in 2 laps. We see the number 12 car of Austin Holbrook making his way back onto the racetrack. So he's going to try and catch back up this field, basically run this thing full pace. As he comes across the tri-oval, field is currently exiting turn number 2, so he will easily make it back up to those guys. So we are going to have 8 cars remaining for the finish of this one. This field makes their way in the turn number 3 for hopefully the last time under caution. iRacing safety car getting ready to pull in as they come off of turn number 4. It's going to be Mike Gudger out there on the front row in that LSU number 64 machine. To his outside is going to be the 43 car of Andrew Cowell. These two have been battling absolutely fantastically all night. See what they can do this time. Mike Gudger gets out to a fantastic start. Once again, he's going to be single file as he goes into turn number 1. Can the 43 car get side by side before they get there? He's going to try and block the inside line. Still going to be Mike Gudger all by himself on that front row. That number 52 machine of Johnny Rapp going to be right behind him. Two by two, it's going to be the number 43 car of Andrew Cowell with the advantage going into turn 3. But Mike Gudger's able to come right back. He's going to have the advantage as they come off turn number 4. Who's it going to be across the line as we come to the white flag? Only going to be 1 lap remaining. 64 car takes it over the line, but just barely. 21 thousandths of a second that time. It is the last lap. These guys are double file the whole way back. Still 2 by 2 by 2 all the way through the field. This is when you need to know the guy behind you is a good pusher, and he's not going to try and make a huge dive on you as you come out of turn number 4. Looks like that inside line's a bit shaky. They're starting to wreck back there, but we'll keep our eyes towards these guys in the front. Number 58 machine of Ryan Rose getting up into the wall, but these top 4 still battling side by side. Going to be a drag race as they come off of turn number 4. Coming across the line now into the tri-oval side by side. The number 12 car going below the yellow line. It's going to be Mike Gudger. By 6 1/1000ths of a second, they wreck coming out of the tri-oval. Absolutely fantastic finish as Daytona always puts on. Let's see if we can get you guys a replay of that finish because, wow, that was amazing. as they come into the tri-oval 2x2. Mike Gudger with the push from behind by Johnny Rapp, able to just barely sneak his way across the line. That 12 car, we'll have to see if there is a penalty for that. Doesn't seem like going below the yellow line helps him anyway. He did not pass either car. He's going to come home in the 5th position. So we cut back to live for Mike Gudger. He's going to do some donuts across the start-finish line. Celebrate his victory. He absolutely earned that one in the number 64 LSU machine. So Mike Gudger comes home your leader. Andrew Cowell finishing second, 11 thousandths of a second behind. So not quite as close as we thought, but still incredibly close. 64 thousandths of a second behind them will be the number 52 machine of Johnny Rapp. All three East Coast drivers moving to the Midwest now will be 4th place Jacob Bradley in that number 50 machine out of Indiana. Number 12 machine of Austin Holbrook finishing 5th. Ryan Rose in the Papyrus number 58 car. He's going to come home 6th. Dave Grajewski kind of come home 7th place. Sam Stoner coming home 8th. Ryan Murray 9th. And Robert Brops 10th. Nathan Gentry and Martin Gonzalez going to round out your 12-car field for tonight. That number 64 machine looks like he's going to go try and find victory lane. Unfortunately, falls into the abyss. So as we get our drivers ready for their interviews, so we will bring in our race winner, Mike Gudger. Absolutely fantastic finish here tonight, man. Do you think you were going to get wrecked coming across the line? I know there were some bad bumps going on the whole way through the last lap, but you were able to hold on to it by 11 thousandths of a second and get the win here tonight at Daytona.
I know. I got absolutely ran through by Johnny. I don't know how in the world I kept that car straight, but it was insane. That was fun. Oh man, I can't believe I held on to it.
Yeah, these Gen 4 cars look like they're an absolute blast to race here on the plate tracks. Is that your general impression of them? Is it too difficult? Does it feel like it's just a bunch of squirrels out there? Or does it feel like a ton of fun, kind of like the old Papyrus games used to be?
Feels like a ton of fun to me. I mean, just gotta get used to them bumps, and once you can, it's really fun.
Now, do you think tonight's shootout win is going to help you go on into the race next week where we have the points paying event here at Daytona?
I don't know. The momentum's gonna be nice, but it just all comes down to that last lap.
Well, hell yeah, man. Why don't we get all your sponsor plugs and thank yous in? I know you had LSU on the front of that car. You student over there at LSU or just a fan?
Now, funny story about that. That's too long to tell, but anyways, thanks to Robert Brooks for making this paint scheme, and yeah, thanks for everybody putting it on.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks for coming out here, putting on one fantastic show for us. You were up there in the front the entire night, and hopefully we get to see you dominate like that again going forward into next week's race.
Yeah, thank you.
So that was Michael Gudger. He is going to be a race winner tonight. Absolutely fantastic show. First showing for these OEM guys on the National Race Network. Hopefully we get these guys out to you for the rest of the season, because I can't wait to see what these guys do, not only at the high banks of Daytona, but all of the rest of the tracks these guys run at. Next week, we have Daytona, this track, once again, for 50 laps of racing, that will be a points-paying event. After that will be the old school version of Texas before they repaved it and ruined it 67 laps of that circuit. And the following week will be the Bristol Motor Speedway, where the NASCAR Cup guys are this weekend, running 125 laps of the high bank short track that is Bristol Motor Speedway. So until next time, thanks for coming out, watching these races. Thank you to all the drivers for putting on one great show for us. And thank you to you guys and Chris Graham for allowing me to be your broadcaster for tonight. I will be in charge of the OeM series going forward. So glad to have this series as my little baby to take care of. Thank you all very much, and have a fantastic night.